some of the advice that I'd say, bro, is like so boring. It's like, hey, bro, show up every Wednesday. Like, I'd definitely advise do a music residency. You know, it'll keep you humble, you know, and carry those speakers. You know, carry those speakers. You'll know how to set up sound, bro. I know how to DJ now. I know how to set up sound, bro.
Damn.
Myself, I know how to sound check. I know how to do it just because I was upskilled by showing up every Wednesday. So allow yourself to be teachable. You know, I don't want to say stay humble because sometimes you got to pop off and show niggas.
Welcome to the Culture's Biggest Podcast.
A podcast about creatives in and around Johannesburg, as well as those who relocate to the big city in hopes of leaving their mark within the industry. Our aim is to bridge the gap between established creatives and aspiring creatives by providing insight into the challenges faced by creatives along their journey. The podcast delves deep into the creative pursuit and offers aspiring creatives guidance on how they could turn their passions into sustainable businesses. My name is Julian Vogue, and this is
Culture's Biggest.
And we're live, man. Welcome back to yet another phenomenal episode of Culture's Biggest. Culture's Biggest, we always highlight some of the biggest names in culture, and today is no exception. Today we are chilling with someone who's a force in the industry. We are hanging out with an artist who was the first artist to be on the Colors show. You know how huge that is for South A. You don't even understand. We're hanging out with an event curator, one of my favorite events in culture, which is called the Weekly Touch Up, which happens on Wednesday. And now he's an author. We are hanging out with the one and only ByLwansta A. How you doing, bro?
I'm fantastic, brother. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you so much for making the time, bro. This
almost didn't.
Hey, man. but it really means a lot, man. It really means a lot for you to show up and to be a part of this conversation.
Thanks for having me, bro.
I want to understand your journey, but before we dive into that, man, I want to understand. You always tell people, please say ByLwansta A.
Yeah.
Why do you do that?
So there used to be a time before the By, right? This was between 2008 and 2015.
Yeah.
I used to just be Lwansta. You know, my real name was Lwandile, right? So rap name was Lwansta. You know, not too much away from my original name. So got to Durban 2014, studied graphic design. And every time I got home from my classes, I would apply whatever I had learned on campus to my music somehow. I was editing press photos. I was coming up with cover art. I was packaging CDs in my room, right? 2014, that was my first year. 2015, second year. And then, you know, I was just doing all sorts of stuff. I was trying to replicate the structures that labels had because I was an independent artist. It was also around the time Chance the Rapper was coming up. So being an independent artist was the coolest thing ever. Just the label because he was doing it independently. I say this because his dad was something to Obama. So is he really?
Oh, for real?
Yeah. But I mean, you know, he's still without a label because what the term means is to be not with a major.
But what's the purpose of a label? It's financing, right?
Yeah, mostly. Financing, but infrastructure. You know, there's a lot that, you know, in my independent journey, I've also learned to not diminish the work that goes into, you know, what labels do because, being independent is like a nice buzzword, but it's like
glorified, a
lot of the artists, you know, there's a difference between being signed and independent, right? That's my opinion. When you're signed, being unsigned and independent. When you're unsigned, you're waiting to be signed. When you're independent, you've decided that you're going to track this whole
yourself.
Thing and then be intentional. So I was intentional 2014, 2015, and then one day, 2016, I'm looking at all the work I've done, and it's like, produced ByLwansta, written ByLwansta, directed ByLwansta, filmed ByLwansta. That ByLwansta was always there. So one day I was like, you know, let me put it together. You know, it saves me time. Instead of putting the space between the By and the Lwansta, I was like, let me just make it my name. You know, that's just, you know, I'm a DIY puppy.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. So it's kind of like letting people know that this was done by Lwansta.
Yeah, for sure. And like you know, the misconception is that, you know, it's like an ego thing that, I do it myself. Bro, no one was going to do it for me. In 2014, like I had a mixtape and that was about it. No one's going to jump and say, let me manage you off of what? 500 Facebook likes, you know? It's like I had to build my leverage. And while I was building my leverage, I consider myself fairly self-aware. So I was like, okay, I have the capacity to direct this short film. I have the capacity to print this CD. I'm a whole label and I didn't even know it at the time. you know. So I think when I realized it was almost like a medal of sorts. That reminds me that, bro, you know, one, you're not gonna get off the conveyor belt, get out the queue.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want, if you want to wait, to wait. But I know you don't want to wait, so make things happen. And I was like, okay, cool. Let me use my two hands. Let me use my brain. Let me just make this thing happen. So today, 2025, you know, we're building on top of the foundation of just everything I've DIY'd. My whole company, Normal, is based on
you even got a book based off doing things yourself, you know, like we're gonna tap into that, you know. So I think that's really, it's really inspiring, because some people use like not being able to do things as a crutch. You know, it's like, okay, I don't have someone to help me out with this. Some people take up photography. Some artists take up photography themselves or editing themselves just because they're so passionate about this thing, which I think that's so beautiful, man. I want to understand, bro, you have been on this journey for like 10 years plus. What's the beginning of your journey like? How did it look like?
So I guess I say 10 years because that's when it, I guess, started to look a little bit more serious, with a lot more potential. But my actual journey behind the mic starts in 2008. You know, from Kokstad, my older brother Kim Osabi, like he used to, we had a studio in the back room. Or rather, it was an outside room, and then he turned it into a studio, started recording. And 2008, I joined because FOMO. And then, you know, I got into it. You know, I did my best Lil Wayne impressions, my best T-Pain impressions, but everything, because I was a kid. And then 2008, 2009, 2010 or whatever, I kept doing it. And then I moved to Durban in 2014 to study graphic design. Right. And I didn't study graphic design to be a graphic designer. I studied graphic design so I could upskill myself as an entrepreneur before I even knew what that was. But I knew that my father isn't going to let me study anything sound related. You know, the story of the black child, black parent, you know.
Trying to follow the creative path.
So graphic design was the middle ground that he was willing to accept. So I used it to angle it to add value to what I was trying to do as a musician. So moved to Durban from Kokstad, and I studied. And
where's Kokstad?
Kokstad is on the border of the Eastern Cape and KZN. So it's surrounded by Eastern Cape, Matatiele, Mount Alive. And they wanted to move us to the Eastern Cape at some point. And then we were like, nah. So now it's in KZN. But a bunch of Xhosa people there, despite being in KZN. I remember the first time I heard a Zulu accent, I was like, is this man speaking in italics? Like, why does this sound so different? You know, but it was, you know, it's Kokstad. So small town, you drive past it normally. So I moved to Durban. Now it's around actual Zulu people. I was like, okay, cool. Yeah, there they are. But then I think I'd frequent a lot of open mics in Durban. You know,
hosted by you?
No, not hosted by me. I hadn't hosted I hosted my first event in 2018. So it took me 4 years to just like build the muscle to get people familiar with who I am. Like, so I was doing open mics. The people who were organizing the shows would be impressed and then maybe offer me a booking, an actual slot, you know. So I was just like active, bro. You know, I was very invested in the scene. So I was showing up at events. And the moment the mic was open, you know, and they were like, hey, bro, I was on and I was going to do my thing. So I nurtured my whole style of performance, my whole style of music, my conversational nature, my delivery in small venues where I'm not performing where I'm like, yo, someone's right in front of me, bro. Everybody's right here. So we're going to have a conversation, you know. So songs like Stay Naked were born out of like just like talking to people on stage, shaking people's hands, making it a one-on-one engagement. So Winston Pub, Jameson's Pub, all these smaller venues in Durban is where I kind of nurtured the style, and I got to know a lot of the artists in the area. And then, did my first show in 2018 in Durban. It was called Normal Agenda. Right. And this was my attempt at finding out who are my people. When I get booked at a show, how many people actually come for me? Right. And you'll never know really if you're just on people's lineup. So it was like a nice experiment for myself. We did Normal Agenda 1 at the South Store in Durban. And then Normal Agenda 2, I shot my shot and did something in Cape Town. But I'm not someone who follows football, right? So I did it on the same day as one of the World Cups. I don't know which one it was.
Damn.
So the attendance was like 17 people at the
And this is like the beginning of your journey. So 17 is not bad.
For sure. I think also there was also Post Colors. because Colors happened in 2017. So there was a lot of people also just realizing every week I'd get like, people would discover me, So by the time we did the Cape Town show, a handful of people were like, hey, I saw you on Colors. Some people, there was a gentleman who had a tattoo of Normal. My company.
Because of the colors?
No, not even because of colors. Like, he'd been riding with me since 2014.
Damn.
And then, like, I got to meet him.
That's a core fan, bro.
Yeah, And then, bro. So then 2018, I had graduated as well.
Yeah.
And then I guess I felt a little bit like I'd reached the glass ceiling in Durban as far as, like, my music career anyway.
And that's where you moved to Joburg?
Yeah, moved to Joburg spontaneously in 2019.
But, like, what brings you to Joburg? Because, in most cases, people come to Joburg, maybe there's a job for you. Because if you're an artist and you're trying to move to Joburg with no plan, how are you planning to pay rent? How are you planning to eat? So how was your mindset like back then before moving here?
So, 2018, I was very restless as far as having this realization that, I'm feeling comfortable. I'm feeling a little, complacent, for lack of a better word, where I could be doing more, with the ByLwansta career. Because now I just graduated, I've got my degree, I was in a nice relationship at the time. And it's like, I got everything that you often spend your whole life looking for. Stability, love, and everything. And I have it now in my first year out of college. No, this doesn't feel right because the ByLwansta thing is itching. So I moved, bro, and I moved to Joburg for the discomfort. Right, I wanted to be uncomfortable because I felt like that was what I needed.
And Joburg will make
literally.
Joburg will make you feel
within that first year. They got me at Park Station, gunpoint, bro.
Ooh.
Like, there's a whole song about it, Nightcrawlers.
Damn.
So that happened, and then like I signed up for the discomfort because Deadpool, the first movie. I don't know if you've watched it, but like how they activate his whole mutation, they torture him, they put him through crazy torture, and a lot of people who've been test subjects die, right? And if you don't die, then it worked, and you've got this immortality that Deadpool has. You cut off his limb, it grows back, but he's ugly as shit now, right? But am I allowed to cuss? Sorry, you.
Yeah, bro. Feel free.
So that the torture that they put him through allowed him to be this invincible person and whatnot. So I'm not looking for being invincible, but I was looking for something that was gonna strengthen my muscle
and grow you as a human being.
Exactly, And I feel like growth happens in discomfort. And that's what I was looking for, bro. So. I had some clients that I was still servicing as a designer from Durban. So, bro, like, I don't know.
So you came here as a freelancer, basically?
Yeah, but I didn't have any clients from Joburg for like the first couple of years when I was here. I think I've been here since 2019. Yes. But like, the moment I decided I'm not going to take any more clients because I want to see what the music thing can do. Because I had a plan, bro. I always had a plan. Like, or at least not necessarily in paper, but there was always an intention and an effort that would, the universe would align with, God would be like, okay, I see you. Okay, cool. Because, bro, that same year that I got to Joburg, I got booked in Paris. I got booked in Paris. An email came in, bro, and I was like, what spam is this?
Damn.
And I sent it to my previous manager. I was like, yo, bro, what spam is this? He's like, bro, this is real. I was like, oh, shit. So then they made us an offer to come perform in Paris. And then
all expenses paid.
So they said, this is the offer. I was like, oof, this isn't even going to afford us a flight.
The flights,
guys, let's do it another time. They're like, okay, no problem. A week later, hey, bro, we upped the fee. What do you guys think? And we're like, it's still not enough, guys. But maybe when we can travel ourselves, we'll do it. Couple weeks, bro, they're like, hey, guys, this is the fee now. And like, bro, it was enough for our flights, but, it wasn't going to be enough to pocket anything. But we were like, they want us this badly. Let's just do it. So we perform in Paris, bro. I get back, then I get another email that says, hey, we need you to come to Berlin for a month. Dang. I went to Berlin for a month. So the first time I was in Berlin was in 2017, and that's when I did Colors. Those same people, 2017, 2 years later, were like, hey, dude, because they brought 10 of us from from all over the world. South Africa, there's a girl from Zimbabwe, a guy from Taiwan, and a guy from Russia, a bunch of us.
How were you feeling, bro, at that time? Because you had just moved to Joburg. All these great opportunities are coming left and right. You're traveling the world. I think like I had a conversation with my girl the other day that creativity is such a beautiful thing because that's your ticket to the world.
Absolutely.
You know, some people literally have to save up to afford a flight, then, you know, go to wherever. But with creativity, someone can like your song and be like, I want you to come and perform this song in Brazil. And that becomes your ticket. So how were you feeling like, bro? Because that's insane, bro.
I mean, it was very affirming more than anything, bro. I think there was a point where nothing necessarily surprised me. You know, because I knew I was putting in work. You know, I was building the ByLwansta brand. I was, you know, building the ByLwansta live show. I was doing all the things that I often feel like anyone who just does music should be doing. Right. So if you studied music, then, you know, I feel like you should be working harder than I am. You know, but yeah, bro. Like I think for the longest time, like I've always. No one's going to want this thing for me more than I want it for me.
Facts.
So I was going to have to show up every day, just like now we do on Wednesdays. We show up every Wednesday, bro. Even when we're tired, we show up. So nothing was surprising. It was just like affirming that, okay, cool. Especially when things started to translate out of the internet. You know, so when I moved to Joburg, another thing that affirmed me pausing on freelance design work was every time I was anywhere in Joburg, specifically Bram, because I was in the West. When I got here, you know.
Kagiso, Soweto.
Was it the West? Rhodoport side. Is that the West? Is it?
Yeah, I think Rhodoport is in the West.
Yeah, somewhere there. So it was, I can't remember, but Honeydew side.
Okay.
Right, so, yeah, bro, every time I make a trip into the city, J&B Hive was still open. People all the time were like, hey, dude, aren't you? Hey, dude, aren't you? Hey, I've got this platform. Oh, I've got but people just needed to see me because at the end of the day, it's a human business, right? So you got to stay top of mind, and there's no email that's going to keep you top of mind. There's no social media post that's going to keep you more top of mind than an in-person interaction. So by me being in Joburg, like people were like, bro, you know, I've known you. Like Mama Gashaga booked me for Feel Good Series in 2019 as well. And she said she had discovered me on Colors like a year ago. And she was just watching me the moment she heard that I'm in Joburg, you know, so it's like me being present and showing up.
How does that feel, bro? Like being the first South African to be on the Colors show. Like Colors show has grown to be huge now, one of the biggest platforms in the world, you know? And you literally number one. You're the first, dog.
I was there before Clips.
Bro.
We're on it now.
You know, a lot of great talent has been on that show. Like, how does it feel to be the first South African?
Honestly, I think that's probably the least that I think about, the first part. I think what I think about more around the Colors moment is how I got there. You know, it was such an interesting story in the fact that, you know, a lot of people have so many assumptions about how it happened. They think I was flown by Colors. They found me. No, like, bro, I went through the contact form. They had around 700,000 subscribers at the time. And I was there for a music exchange for 10 days with the Goethe Institute and Pop Culture Berlin. And then I was like, hey, who else is in Berlin? I'm there for 10 days. Let me shoot my shot, bro. I just shot my shot at their contact form. And I said, hey, guys, I'm in the city for 10 days.
What made you want to shoot your shot? Because they were at like 700 subscribers at that time.
You lose nothing, bro. You only lose when you don't, you know, take a shot.
I'm saying, what made you want to shoot the shot? Because they weren't like a big deal at that time. You know?
Oh, okay. Well, I was obsessed, bro. Like with the platform, I was a fan.
Big before fan. Even knowing about it.
So I was just like, I was a fan of the platform. I remember somebody once sent me a link to, what's this man's name? I can't remember his name, but they sent me a video of his Colors show. And then they were like, bro, this guy reminds me of you. And then I was like, oh, snap. Then I checked out the video. As soon as I finished it, and I saw there's a list of other videos with this incredibly great looking aesthetic with the color background and the artist in the center. Like being a visual person, that really, piqued my interest. So I just checked out. I was like, oh my gosh, there's so much more here. There was Gold Link, before the Mac Miller situation. There was Masego, all these guys, Alexander London. I was like, oh wow, this is crazy. Billie Eilish, then I just was such a fan. It catered to my sense of sight, my sense of hearing, and it was just like so incredible, So I just enjoyed it. And at no point did I ever think about myself on the platform until one day I was in my third year. And I was looking at the platform because I always, like, every day I'd come to school, like, yo, gents, check out this new show. And then we'd look at it. And I once asked my lecturer, yo, is this green screen or do they paint this? And he looks at it, he's like, it's green screen, because he could see by the shadow or something, he could see something that was suggesting that it's green screen. I was like, if I was on here, I'd definitely choose orange, whatever. That was about it. Damn. And then now I get this acceptance email from this residency. And I'm like, I'm going to be in Berlin. Then for the first time ever, I'm like,
why not?
Try to get on colors, So I shot my shot, bro. And I'm thinking they're going to get back to me when I get back to South Africa, if they get back to me.
And they got back to you
the next day.
Damn.
The next day, bro. They were like,
crazy.
Hey, we really like your flow. Please let us know when you can come through. That was from the HR person. Mm-hmm. And then the actual founder emails me. And at the time, I had this EP that came out in 2016 called You're Absolutely Right? Yeah. It's called, people who enjoyed it or who are fans of it called it YAR. Mm-hmm. This man emails me, he's like, yo, bro, been listening to YAR, and man, really excited to have you. Let me know what day is good. And I was like, there's no way this is happening. And then it was a Tuesday. I was shadowing another gentleman who owns a venue. Yeah. And then I was like, yo, bro, tomorrow, can I dip early? There's just something I need to do. He's like, oh, no, don't worry, bro. The venue is closed anyway, so you do your thing. Took a walk, bro. Just Wi-Fi is hopping.
Yeah, like, Wi-Fi is free that side.
Yeah, coffee shops and stuff. So bro, I get Google Maps. At least Google Maps keeps the...
Yeah.
So when I get to this door, bro, I'm like, this is okay. I send this guy a message on Facebook. Hey, bro, I think I'm outside. Then he comes out on the side, and I immediately knew it was him. And then, they said when I was there, I think Smino had just been there. They were just trying to clear usage of his performance. Because they send you a contract.
You performed after Smino, basically.
Yeah. I mean, not that same day, but he was the last one that they recorded. So I was like, okay, cool. Then I stood there thinking about all the artists I enjoyed who were there. I was like, okay, this is definitely bucket list. So man, like being the first... Yeah, beautiful. That's secondary for me.
Yeah, you enjoyed the journey more.
Yeah, just like also because, bro, you can't replicate how I got there. They're huge. That contact form probably goes to an email that nobody even opens possibly. But there was a time where someone was on that email and then they saw this stuff. And one of the important things about how it happened for me is because there's more lessons. That's why I focus on how it happened. Being first...
I mean, let's
great.
But
it's like honest. The lessons, like... What also helped me get on colors, bro, is the fact that I was Googleable. I'd worked for the last 10 years, bro. I'd been making sure my digital footprint is like, it's present. I've got publications reviewing my music. Yeah. You need about minimum of 10 Wikipedia links to have a Wikipedia page that they don't take down, and I was always investing in, like, how can I get people to speak more about my music in a documented way online? Because I'm going to put those links. Every time I say something about myself on Wikipedia, I have to reference it. And then the reference is at the bottom, and it takes you to African Hip Hop Blog, takes you to Slick on Live, takes you to all these platforms that to verify that this is a person of interest. Yeah. So I invested in all these things, bro, very early in my career, building my numbers, building talkability online. The moment you Google ByLwansta, so much will show up. And it says, oh, this is a real person. The Wikipedia page was important. It's really about branding. Because branding has conversations about you in rooms that you're not in.
Damn.
They just had to say, oh, who's this ByLwansta guy from South Africa? Let's Google. Bro, they said no links. In their contact form, they said no links or attachments. So I'm thinking, how are you going to know the music? I bet. I sent the email, bro. They went and found it themselves. They say ByLwansta, they find the music, they found the articles, they found the Wikipedia page. It's like, that's why I'm saying, like, nothing came as a surprise per se. It was more like, okay, I've put this intention out in the world. I've put this effort in. It has to make sense.
You know what your journey kind of reminds me of so far?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've read The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
I might have read maybe a couple pages, but yeah.
There's a quote there that says the world conspires with the dreamer.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Like
so,
that.
like all the things that you set out to do,
Yeah.
the world will make everything like fall into plan.
Absolutely.
And make you get to the destination, man.
Exactly, bro.
That's how it happened for you.
Yeah,
you know?
bro, you gotta risk it, bro. Like the thing about artist entrepreneurship or any career in the arts, like you've gotta not be so risk averse. Anyone who's risk averse, bro, isn't gonna want to take the leaps. There's certain risks, bro. We went on tour just now to Cape Town and KZN last year with my my album, The Chip Is Stale. 10 musicians, my band, Babel Hume, went to Cape Town, bro. That thing cost us 40,000 rand. You know, like artists on our level aren't meant to tour based on the fact that we're at this level or we're alternative, but you've got to do it. You've got to do it, bro. You've got to try and fight for it. I was reading something earlier on my way to this conversation with you about joy and how, you know, you've got to fight for joy because sadness and grief come uninvited. You know, they'll arrive, they'll settle in, they'll do their thing, but joy,
you need to fight.
You need to fight, you know. So
I love that, man.
I believe in always like fighting. My business partner, Tebogo Jamusane, likes to force things. You know, and that's the kind of person. Dog. So that's the only way, bro. You can't be risk averse. You can't say, "Oh, I can't do this because I don't have money." You'll never do it, bro. Like you'll never do it if you're worrying about, you know, money or the returns, because often they're not financial returns. They're returns that kind of, you know, because there's a time where artists were booked based on, oh, you did this many stages, you played, not just on numbers, you know. So often you find people get on stage, on big stages, and that's their first performance, and they bomb because they haven't done the 100 other stages. So every time
school fees.
Exactly. So every time I would play your weekly touch-up when we were still at Baba Black Sheep, bro, every Wednesday I was performing. You know, there was a conversation that was happening within our artist community. Like, guys, is ByLwansta bookable if he's performing and accessible every Wednesday? Won't a promoter say, people are going to want to go see him on a Wednesday and not pay? You know, and there's some truth to that, but also we played House of Vans like just recently. You know?
Shout out for that.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if anyone doesn't want to book me because, I'm accessible on Wednesday, I don't think Coachella is worried about me being accessible on Wednesday. I don't think Camp Flogno are worried, he performs every Wednesday. No, they're like, he's refined at performing, clearly. If he's performed over 50 weeks or 100 weeks.
10,000 hours. It's past 10,000 hours.
Like, if music things or rap careers had qualifications and CVs, bro, mine is gold, bro.
Beautiful, man. So, man, obviously, you come to Joburg. You're on the journey.
It's risky.
How do you pivot to events?
Nice. So, Normal Agenda 1. Did it in Durban. Number 2, we did it in Cape Town. Number 3, did it in Durban again. 2018, then I moved to Joburg. And then, bro, I'm just, I'm in Joburg. I'm being booked every now and then. And then I bump into Tebogo Jamusane.
Oh, you guys have known each other since way?
Since 2020. So lockdown happened, and then the moment they opened it up at around September, August, Mama Gashaga was hosting Feel Good series for a month every weekend, right? So I'd go because my beard also just came together. I'm looking good. I've got my Kosa light. Everything's I mean, I've just been dumped, but like I'm good, right? So I meet him at one of the Feel Good series, and we kind of like chat, and like cool, man. And I find him on social media. There's a YouTube link in his bio. I watch it. It's an hour-long interview of just his life. And I'm like, whoa, this guy has so much in common with me. And I'm like, bro, we need to link up. We met up, had a date at 44 Stanley, had some coffee, chatted, got to know each other. This is 2020. And then 2021, we did our first event together, Normal Agenda 4, at one of the penthouses here in Maboneng, Fox Street Studios. He likes the unconventional spaces that aren't traditional venues because it gives us a lot of freedom to curate the space and also to own the bar because that's where the money's at. People tend to think it's about tickets. Hey, for that bar, But anyway, we pivot into Normal Agenda 4. And then at the same penthouse, we do my debut album launch, Spajongit. Had merch, we had a stage, we had food. It was incredible, bro. So we kind of got a good understanding that it's important to be able to balance your digital efforts with an analog. So every time you do whatever you do digitally, there needs to be an analog version. Whatever you do in analog, there has to be a digital.
It's so crazy that you said that. I think I'm at that point right now. I had a conversation with Gron, and we were talking about how, like, a couple of people know us on the internet now. Like, we need to get into an event and build an actual community in the real world, you know. So but you can carry on, man.
Man, because
how'd you pivot?
We have 5 senses.
Yeah.
You know, and in the digital age and COVID, it tried to keep us apart. So we are down to our sense of sight and our sense of hearing when it comes to engaging with music anyway.
Yeah.
And from being able to hold CDs or vinyls, you know, you could taste a vinyl if you wanted to, you know, but, you know, don't. But like you could. And you could trigger 5 senses. And I've got this theory that for things to be impactful and to resonate, they have to trigger all 5 senses, or at least close enough, because I think that's key. That's linked to our memory. You know, if you think about it, a lot of, you know, the most impactful things that we remember, sometimes in the form of trauma, sometimes in the form of like a sex flashback. That moment triggered all your senses, bro. Like the car accident triggers all your senses as well. Like touch, taste, maybe you taste the blood. You heard the impact, all sorts of things. But that kind of impact retains in your memory. So with music, I've always been trying to solve for, you know, how do we, one, tell a story, put out a dope project, but how do we allow it to live past Fridays out now? Because once you say out now and it's a Friday, bro, people have moved on next Friday. But we want to tell stories, you know, where it prolongs the lifespan of a project, you know. So, events were like the most on the nose reflection of what it means to try to get that impact from digital. Because you want to pull people out of the internet. When you've got 10,000 followers, you know, you'll find
and
that
it doesn't translate.
That's weird, man. Yeah. That's weird. And we've had a couple people, you know, when we do the touch up, who have the strong digital presence, and then in person, one, the performance isn't great. 2, but it's only not great because they haven't been doing it enough, you know, or at all. Sometimes we've got a couple people who've done their first ever performances with us, you know. But yeah, you know, it's not even to shame them. It's growth, but it's like, I will shame you if you are just going to rely on purely digital and not come out of the house and get on stage and fuck up and then get back on stage and continue. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, it's really, you know, events are that allows us to sell merchandise. It allows us to sell beverages.
That was actually one of my next questions. A young person loves music, doesn't know how to rap, doesn't know how to sing.
Damn.
And they like, I want to curate an event. You know, they do the first event, RSVP, free. Second events, they're like, I see potential to monetize. What are some of the avenues of monetizing that a person can get into when it comes to hosting events?
So I think it would often, you know, you don't want to think about money first, especially when you're getting into the arts. You know, like it's stability is, you know, a luxury. So a lot of people who got into the arts wanted to express themselves. Right? And where it becomes tricky, if you're not someone who's either an artist or a singer or a rapper, you're obviously thinking about money first, right? And
those kind of people are also important in the space.
No, absolutely. No, definitely. And just when you're starting something,
it's not advisable.
We've been doing your weekly touch up for the last 107 weeks. Haven't ticketed once. You know, and this thing costs us like not a lot of money, which is the hack of us being able to do it consistently, because we keep our costs very minimal. Very low, like 98% of the artists we've had on our lineup have waived their fees. Because we're not saying, hey, donate your time. We're not saying that, bro. We're saying, hey, as it stands, our gig is not ticketed and we can't afford to pay booking fees right now. And it's not a reflection on you. It's more a reflection of affordability on our side, right? So our name says your weekly touch-up.
Not our weekly.
You know, it says
about
it's a community thing. You know, and I don't ever want to use community words like, so I hate the word support. Don't support me. Don't support me. And I want you to interpret it like this, like see value. Don't come to the gig if you feel like you're supporting. Come to the gig because you want to come to the gig. You know, like I'd prefer to have 12 paying people than 100 people who are just there for the vibes. Because the people who paid crossed the paywall to say that I wanted to be here. So while we're not charging tickets at Touch Up, it's still a midweek event. It's Wednesday, bro. Like at Baba Black Sheep, they offered us Sunday or Wednesday.
Did you ever do the Sunday as well?
We said we wanted Wednesday, bro. Deb's like on top of him not liking conventional venues. He also doesn't like conventional anything.
It's so crazy that you guys actually host an event on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
I had a convo with this friend of mine, and we were talking about dropping music. He's an artist, and he's like, he doesn't prefer Fridays. He prefers Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Because like if you release music on a Friday, it's like people have a lot to do. They probably go out. Yeah. They passively listening to the music. But on a Wednesday, like someone is intentionally like, okay, I'm going to work. Let me put on my headphones
for sure.
listen to this album, you know? So also choosing Wednesday, I think that's pretty sick.
Because think about it, bro. Like, only thing we're competing with on Wednesdays is Wacky Wednesday.
That's it.
And when last were they hot?
Exactly.
You know, shout out to Steers. Hit us up. Let's do something. But what I'm trying to say is like we chose a day that isn't necessarily convenient. So when you do come out on a Wednesday, you're intentional.
Yeah.
You know, because we're trying to like I've got this wallpaper on my phone. Let's assume it's here somewhere. It says create the things you wish existed.
I love that.
That drives me, bro, because it's like we wanted. I consider the kind of music I make alternative. You know, just because when it's just hip hop, people have a very specific expectation of it. You know, and I was like, you're gonna be disappointed if that's the expectation you have of me. So I was like, okay, cool. If we're trying to be alternative musicians, we're alternative to what? Amapiano, everything that's mainstream, right? Yeah. So the reason it's alternative, and the words like niche, when people say, "Oh, this is niche," that's a backhanded compliment for me, bro.
What makes
you're saying, "Oh, it's only 5 people like it." Nice. Shut up. Shut the fuck up. You know, so not that anyone's insulting me. It's not like people mean well. Oh, this is niche. You know, that I get the term. I just don't want it. You know, and it's weird because here I am doing a niche genre, but my goal, give me maybe 5-10 years. Well, not me, just me and the team. We want alternative
to be in the forefront. I love that.
You know, there's gonna be a reality where in the room, bro, on a Wednesday at Mama Shaga and Friends, there's a bunch of Amapiano artists there. You know, because they only have Wednesdays now. Because every other day is taken by us. You know, that's the future that I envision.
Why do you want to create like a space for alternative artists?
Because, bro, younger ByLwansta in 2014
didn't have this space.
Would have loved this. All you would have had to do was drop Lindiwe, and before even colors, drop Lindiwe and drop the normal mixtape, and people receive it. Like the masses, people got 1 million streams. Labels want to sign it because it's people want it. You know, structures didn't exist. And don't really exist as it stands. So our Wednesday efforts, bro, like I believe in selfish reasons. People must always have their selfish reasons for doing things. Don't pretend like, oh, you care so much about the kids in Africa.
Being benevolent.
You know? Oh, come on, shut up. You know what I'm saying? It's like, bro, your selfish reason is the reason you're going to show up every Wednesday. Bro, this show, your weekly touch-up stopped being about me a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I host there. I get to show off my hosting chops. We added the panel discussion an hour now. I get to host that, bro. Like I'm showing other stuff about ByLwansta. I might not be performing, but the fact that I always get to show up and say, I love South African alternative music, especially when on a Wednesday, I get to say that every Wednesday, bro. That's my selfish reason.
That becomes a mantra as well, you know.
You know what I'm saying? So the goal is to grow it beyond Wednesday. But sorry, let me answer your question. We're not trying to ticket it, right? And that's what allows us to keep it consistent because money is not at the... We would love some money. We would love, but because we're building something, right? Like the moment you ticket it, you kind of slow its growth because people who aren't already convinced about alternative music are going to turn away and like, I don't even listen to this shit anyway, right? But there's someone who's there who's like, yo, homies, you got to come check this stuff out. Then they're like, all right, cool. Then they come and they can come because it's not ticketed and we have an opportunity to convert them right there and then.
Talking about conversion, how do you separate, like, you know, in business, you are able to separate a buying customer and a window shopper. You know, how do you separate that? Like, I know you because I've been to one of your events and there's like an email list and stuff like that. Is there a way to gauge how you can actually convert even further after, you know, pulling in someone to come through?
So our main point of conversion right now, and the most on the nose one, is the paywall, right? So what we're about to introduce in the next couple of weeks, merchandise, right? Some product. You know, something that people, like they're in the venue already. Something tangible, they can purchase it. And, you know, anyone who purchases it, like, because, I mean, there's the window shoppers, then there's the people who actually buy. Now we just need to see who buys, and we have to have things to buy, right? So monetizing with a non-ticketed event, it's about how you use the venue and the space and the time you have. We have about 3-4 hours at Mama Ashaga and Friends. That's 3-4 hours to convince people to go buy that tote bag, to go buy that, So the venue itself is our shop. The entertainment itself is how we pull people, emotional buy-in, and then in the space we figure out. So what's nice about our journey is that we're still figuring this stuff out as we do, but we figure out by doing. So merchandise is something we're announcing soon. So we see that, okay, cool, how much merch can we move, based on the culture that we're growing, the community we're building, and then,
How does the bar thing work now at Mama Ashaga since they've...
the dry bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, they still have the bar, but, it's a dry bar. So it's your
coffee, tea,
soft drinks, teas, and whatnot.
Oh, okay.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it, I think I love a present audience. When we had alcohol on sale, our audience was still chill. There was just 1-2 people every now and then who would be a little bit troublesome, and then they get one of these. Not from me, though.
That is crazy, man.
But yeah. So, we'll see, because I think it might return soon. Because we've gone from 7 till 10 now, shorter, because the winter as well. And then we don't want to keep people too long, and then they want alcohol. It's like, but also people have been so receptive to it. It's so crazy. I wasn't expecting it. So there's a reality where I almost hope that we stay. We have to make money. We have to make money.
That,
so
man.
there is a bar split that we get, in all these venues. Unless we do a normal agenda, then that shit is
100%, yeah. Bro, we're doing anything for a long time, right? It gets tiring. You recently did 100+ weeks.
Yeah.
How is the weekly touch-up on the other end of those 100 weeks?
I think the post week 100, we obviously took a week break, but the moment we returned, bro, it's like, I go 101 now. Road to 200 now. So it's like we're always on our toes as far as, what's next for touch-up, like curating now. With the performances and the panelists,
live panel,
So it's growing as we grow, and every time maybe a something is thrown, but every time something changes and presents a challenge, we always have to adapt. So even like when we moved from Baba Black Sheep, we were like, okay, cool. How do we now get our people from Baba Black Sheep to come here?
Because it's 2 different audiences,
exactly.
2 different locations, demographics.
But Mama Ashaga and Friends is such a beautiful venue.
Yeah, it is.
You
could say it's one of the best in the inner city of Joburg.
Yeah, so beautiful. I think they do such a beautiful program every week as well. So we're very fortunate. The alignment with them. That's also how the Spotify takeover came about.
Yeah, I was actually about to ask you about that. How did that whole thing happen with Spotify?
Showing up every Wednesday.
Of course.
Like Mama Ashaga, they're one of Spotify's agencies. So they were doing the Spotify Equal. And then they're like, hey, come do it here by us. And like, oh, on what day? We want to do a Wednesday. Like, okay, let me speak to the Wednesdays guys, because we're not going to kick them out of their Wednesday. Why don't you guys just do something together?
Oh, it was a collab.
Yeah. So Mama Ashaga facilitated that. We had the infrastructure, community, because even the acts that they brought in, Shekinah, Lusanda, we brought in.
I think Phila was there as well.
No, not the. She was in attendance, but she wasn't on stage.
Yeah.
Right. So we contributed Chipego as the performer, but then they brought in Shekinah and Lusanda. That was Lusanda's first performance.
For real?
Your weekly touch.
She's fire, man.
Yeah, so
I love her stuff.
Alignment sonically, it made sense to partner with your weekly touch-up. You're not going to bring us a Kamompela for a Wednesday because it's Spotify Equal. You're not going to bring us someone who doesn't make sense. And it made sense.
It's also alternative artists as well.
That's the main thing. So that's how that came about. There's a reality where we prioritize money and we try to ticket the gig, and we never make it to that week where Spotify wanted to activate because we're broke or whatever. But when it's not about the money, you show up regardless. The money becomes a knock-on, a result of just constantly showing up. Bro, we're 107 weeks in,
I love that, man.
Like the money is not moneying, but, we're showing up, the community is communicating.
Yeah.
People Like, bro, that's why it's difficult to just, 100 weeks, we did it. No, it's like, yes, we did 100 weeks. We've premiered a documentary that day as well called Aren't You Tired? Which is about the weekly.
Is it also on the Tube?
Not yet. So we're kind of still like refining it. We wanna get it like a proper debut, television. License it, see how that works, and man, because it's like a beautiful story that we're telling.
Love that, man. Bro, there's a stat that actually says there's 120,000 songs that are being released each and every day.
Oh, shit.
Right?
Okay.
And obviously, with a stat like that, music has become so saturated.
Absolutely.
In the digital age.
Yeah.
Why do you still roll out music? Okay. What's the importance of rollouts in this flooded market, bro?
Yeah.
Why is it so important to you? Because you have, everyone knows ByLwansta has one of the best rollouts in the country.
Yeah.
Why are rollouts so important to you?
I mean, it's the pain point that it solves for, bro, is wanting to get my music heard.
Yeah.
Right. It's not about, I have the best visuals, I have the best whatever. It's about, guys, the music itself should be enough to sell, to convince people. But because it's so saturated, we have to find different ways for people to give it a chance. People releasing every Friday, bro. Do you know the words out now trend on Twitter? Because everybody goes with their unique voice, with their unique cover, only to use the same exact language everybody's using.
Aish.
So to me, it translated as we need to do things differently, and we need to be able to live past Friday release dates, right? I think the last thing I dropped was still on a Friday, but I even so we started my rollout for The Chip is Stale. We called it Stop Ignoring the Signs, because our whole ethos around releasing music is to not sell music, because if you sell music, sell me a song now, it'll be 0.0 whatever, so you can't, the music isn't the product anymore. It becomes now the soundtrack to a story that's going to manifest in people's memories in their lives, right? So I have this beautiful 2005 Opel Corsa Light, breaks down on me all the time, 2023 October, it broke down, engine, everything I needed, an engine overhaul, and it was a tough time. But the moment it broke down, bro, I don't know, I'm a weirdo because I pulled out my phone and I started filming because I was like, this is important. I'll probably need this at some point to reflect on it. Then little did I know that was the beginning of my rollout. Whether I knew it or not, the Chip is Stale project, has the Opel on the cover, so we decided, let's tell a story, because not everybody likes hip hop, not everybody likes amapiano, not everybody likes R&B, but everybody likes a good story. Because a story is like a pattern. So it's not that, I like a good story, but you'll always notice something that's consistent. So the best way to roll out is to tell a broader story. This story that we are telling with The Chip is Stale wasn't about a car, but it was about stop ignoring the signs. When your car has that light that shows up, and then you're like, I know my car, and then it breaks down, you ignore the signs. In your life, when someone shows you who they are, or when you realize that, you're triggered by these things, the way someone talks, if someone, you don't like people shouting at you, generally.
And you ignore it.
You ignore these signs, and then you break down, just like the car. So we found this beautiful parallel between old cars, and we found with us as humans, bro. And we wrote a story, bro, and it wasn't even a story we actually wrote, because I romanticize my life a lot. So all the moments in my life are exciting. I always think every time I wake up, bro, Netflix sound. Because my episode is starting. So when I look at my life, that's why, you got it. So with The Chip is Stale, we did the Stop Ignoring the Signs rollout. Told a story, one that starts off, okay, guys, my car broke down. This happened. And then we broke it down into content pieces. We had a whole schedule, bro. Like, this was maybe 3 months before the project dropped. Damn. 3 months before. No one knew we were dropping music, bro. I remember the first time we put out a post about my car. One of my boys, my two mates, he was like, he just sent me a DM. I was like, bro, are you rolling out? I was like, no, I love my car, bro. And he's like, I bet, right? So I was like, okay, cool. Someone has picked up that because they know how intentional I am. So I had to almost not be too intentional, where it looks like, I'm just filming content with my car, right? So as the month would go, I'd post videos of me under my car, fixing it, and then look at the camera. I'm like, I realize I'm pretty avoidant, and probably so I work on the car while I work on myself. And then at the end, I always sign it off with stop ignoring the signs. For like months, bro, months, one day, maybe after month 2 or 3, I get a DM from a brand manager at Opel. They're like, yo, this is our car, bro. Like, what are you up to?
So the partnership with Opel was organic. Basically.
Organic, bro. It wasn't in our strategy or in our plans, but we put out every single intention there was in the world for that thing to be possible. We had like a rollout schedule. We had T-shirts we printed. We had this character. We called him Bubs, Bubble Boy, because that's the first track on the project, right? So like, bro, we were very intentional. We are so intentional, and we wanted, again, to live past Friday. It's out now because we have pre-release where we tell this incredible story. Like a good story, bro, has a character. It develops. They either win or they lose, but something happens afterwards. When Opel reached out, that was one of our climaxes where our hero's always having a car breaking down on him, and then suddenly Opel says, "Hey,
a savior."
There we go. You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine, bro, people were like losing their minds. They're like, "Oh my God!" Then they see me driving the Opel Mokka, and they saw me driving the new Corsa. They're like, "Yo, bro, I love this." Emotional investment. You know, it sounds a little manipulative, but at least it was my real life. There's a reality where I pretended, you know, that I was.
Is it pretending though?
I mean, so the way I did it, but there's a reality where I'm driving a nice Focus, and then now I pretend like, oh, I drive an old Corsa. It's cool to get into character, but it's difficult to be consistent with it, because if you're in character all the time, and this also goes to artists' personas. As a rapper, a lot of the time you gotta have this persona, bro. And then sometimes you'll forget your American accent in the interview. Then you're like, oh, this nigga, but on the tracks, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's the easiest thing to do is to be yourself. Beautiful. And me, dog, I want to live long and I want to live comfortably. So being myself, let me just romance. Let me make me cool. You know, because if I have to align with what is cool, I'm putting on an outfit, bro. I'm putting on an outfit, bro. And then there's days where people want to see me in this outfit every day, bro. And they see me, and then I'm gonna be like, yo, I can't come out.
If you're not in that outfit now, something is off.
Now, emotionally, it weighs on you. Meanwhile, because bro, people like ask me shit like, yo, dog, you know, you're a superstar, bro. What are you doing lifting speakers, bro? Or why are you so accessible?
I heard that from the
homies.
Yeah.
I mean, but
the other podcast.
The sobering. But beyond that, you know, like it's like conversations. People think, oh, ByLwansta doesn't have the, you know, until you see me on stage. Until you see me on stage. But outside you, if I'm going to be a nice guy, you know, if I'm accessible, it takes away from the superstardom. Dog, fuck all that, bro. Like, this is me. And I want this music thing to be easy for me to do. Otherwise, I'm always going to make excuses. The one excuse I'll never make is, I'm not in the mood to be ByLwansta today. There's no difference between ByLwansta and Lwandile.
Yeah, it has to be one thing.
There's one thing, bro. That's how I'm able to be consistent. When you see me at your weekly touch-up and I'm on stage, bro, same guy you're going to hear in the music. There's certain things, like I remember I was like back in Durban and I said something that I had said in a song. And some guy was like, bro, you sound just like your songs. I'm like,
it's who I am,
as opposed to what, you know. But like, I realized there are dudes who put
sound
on the fit, you know. So I can't remember the point. Oh, this rollout. So we told this, we romanticized something that was already there. And by romanticizing, we're not saying, oh, this is great that my car breaks down. We're just filming things as they happen. Every time my car broke down,
it wasn't planned.
But like we were so intentional. We've been intentional about the ByLwansta brand for the last 10 years, bro.
Beautiful.
Like, ask this book, bro. It'll tell you. You know what I'm saying? So but the story, bro, we tell a story. We get to this release date. We're like, hey guys, first single, you know, here it is, Office Days, you know, for all the entrepreneurs, shout out, you know, and we'll continue the rollout. At no point are we saying there's a project, but the moment Opel gets involved, bro, we start to pivot the narrative. You've got to be so delicate with the storytelling thing when it comes to music. As someone who's done it well, The Weeknd, when he was rolling out all these projects with the nose,
different characters,
bro, like it was character progression, you know. And then I think Kanye, when he was doing your 808s and Heartbreaks, he was the character with the.
But he's been from the beginning with the bear.
Exactly, bro. Intentionality, bro. Like that's something me and my homie Zulo used to always like bond over, like just being intentional about our careers. So like
world building, character building.
Bro, that word. World building. That's exactly what we tried to do with the Chip Estate. And then like there's a piece of content I created for Opel. Every time I saw an Opel Corsa driver, bro, in the street, I'd stop them. And like, yo, dog, do you want to test drive the new Opel? And then I take their number, and then I call them, I emailed everybody, say, hey guys, on Saturday, bring your Opel. and then let's test drive. And I put people in the new Opel, bro. And we test drove. We had a camera, dash cam, spoke about the new car. That's what we were giving Opel in exchange for the car. And, you know, some money, you know. But, like, we were able to create value, bro. We built a world where people are going to be proud to own an Opel Corsa, even if it's from 2005, you know. So really world thinking, bro, world building.
That,
like
man.
Kendrick said, he's not in the music business,
he's in the human business.
And I love that shit, even though I was Team Drake. I love that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's really about thinking beyond Friday's release date.
Yeah. And beyond the music as well.
Beyond the music, bro. Literally, bro. Beyond the music. Because, again, it's a people thing. People are going to buy into the person. As a person, I have other things that I like. I like cover art. I like sport. I like paddle. I like puppies. You know,
and which is important. It's all different facets of who you are.
Exactly. You know,
love that, man. Bro, you have tapped into so many spaces.
Yeah.
You're in the music, you're in the live music, you're in the events.
Yeah.
And now you're an author.
Yeah.
How does that happen, man? Like, what makes you even want to write a book, bro?
So I've had this idea, at least the concept for this book, for the last 2 years. It's called Really Listening. And it takes 16 lyrics from different songs, either keeps them in context or takes them out of context. Like, I'll give you an example. Frank Ocean's Novocaine. I think I started something. I just took that line and I spoke about how I started something, how I started normal. You know, and then I think there's a Tandiswa from Ingoma where it's like, Uti Ubani Anam Sebens, like, where I talk about, because it's like, I don't care, you know, whoever, but I say Anam Sebens because at that time I was out of a job. So Anam Sebens Vele, you know, so I take songs, lyrics, and I switch them up a little, not the lyric itself, but how I pivot from the lyric.
Yeah, you frame it in your perspective.
Exactly. So then there's no one man should have all this power.
Kanye.
And I'm like, dog, you know, when I started to realize how this thing that I've got going actually can possibly intimidate people, step on some toes, because they're like, this guy can do my job and my other guy's job, and he's just an artist, you know. There's a reality where people are intimidated by the buying, you know. But I tell this story, bro. So I had the idea for 2 years, so it took me 10 years to write, not actually write, but
The
I had
journey,
to live.
the journey,
And then 2 months to type out, you know.
Did you write, edit everything yourself?
Yeah, I did. And I say it sheepishly because at this point, maybe one should be able to outsource this as a service, but I started writing.
You're a DIY, bro.
But I mean, at some point, I need to understand the limits of what my expertise is. Like, I'm a creative director at this point because I'm not going to be the best photographer. I'm not going to be the best DOP, but I'll have the vision. And I'll be able to speak the language briefly and just say, hey, dude, can you do? And then they'll know, okay, let me adjust the ISO or whatever.
Really listening.
Really listening.
Why that title?
Because to be able to understand and apply these lyrics into your life, you have to really listen to these songs, right? You have to really listen, you know? So, like, you wouldn't have thought that, I think I started something could relate to entrepreneurship. You know, not that it does at all. But
even the song doesn't relate to that. But
you have to really listen to discover all sorts of avenues within the music. Like AKA says, you never made rands, so you never made sense. That's one of the more on the nose lyrics that I've used here. Where I speak about how, dude, I can be the greatest everything as a rapper, the greatest, have the greatest rollout, but if it's not doing this, you know, so it's like, I'd rather be applauded for getting a car off of a rollout than maybe being the hottest MC on whatever platform, you
Getting
know.
the O's.
Shut the fuck up, you know what I'm saying? So bro, really listening is
Beautiful,
really just
man.
like my first 10 years because I always like to think about, or rather when I was writing this, I realized that I've done my first 10 years of this music thing. And those were my yes years.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is we just went to Lesotho with amongst the people I know. There's a reality where I've been on colors, I've been on Tiny Desk, and I'm like, I'm not going to Lesotho. You know what I'm saying? Because of
too fresh.
Like there's so many things that you think you shouldn't be doing at an artist. In your first 10 years, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You've got to say yes, because no matter what you experience, it's going to teach you something. You need to be teachable within your first 10 years, because this is a long game, bro. Even when people who blow up off of one record or whatever, even that blowing up, it's just, perception, right? The song was great, sure.
They still need to sustain the momentum.
That's the thing, and you've got to do the groundwork.
Yeah.
So if you're already saying no to things, saying no to an opening slot for someone,
because you feel like you're too hard now.
You lose out on so much experience, bro. You lose out on so much groundwork because you're saying no already. So, I mean, this is the first, what are we, in July now, right?
Yeah.
First 7 months of my 11th year, right? And there's still things I'm saying yes to. I'll see what I say no to. I mean, I guess, there are some things I'm going to say no to, but it's not going to be like opportunities. If you had come to me like maybe 6 years ago and spoke to me at this 6-year level, sure. But now I'm at year 11. You need to get some years up before you speak to me at 6 years, So it's like, I'll say no, but it's not always like, oh, no, I'm not doing it. It's like, okay, cool. Unfortunately, this is not going to work. The minimum I'm going to charge, I'm happy to do a favor for you and waive my fee, but my band still needs to get paid. You know what I'm saying? So you're not going to just say no to things, because in the reality, someone can pay your band, but maybe you're like, okay, that's fine, as long as we get to do the show and my people are fed. So
love that, man.
Yeah, you've got to just be strategic, bro, about what you say yes or no to. You can't be saying no to everything. They say, hey, dude, come open for Ubanban, and you feel like you're better than Ubanban. And now you're not going to perform. Now your next performance is in like 8 months because you decide, dude,
too fresh.
So that's really what really listening's about, bro.
I love that, man. The main question on the podcast, bro,
Yeah.
As you know, we are called Culture's Biggest.
Zersky.
You definitely Culture's Biggest.
Yes,
sir. It's about the people in culture. This podcast. So I want to find out from ByLwansta, man. You've attached yourself to so many different facets of culture. You're in events, you're in music. Now you're writing a book. What does culture mean to you, man?
Culture to me means community. Right? It means relationship, relatability. Those two things, community and relatability, because we come together because we relate. We both like Lana Del Rey. We both like whoever's music, and it happens to be playing all the time on a Wednesday. So that brings us together. Like a culture begins to develop. People who are like-minded, who have similar tastes, and then the community is what sustains that. So when you're the culture's biggest, you've obviously contributed hugely to the culture, or even built one. So I don't know who else you've had on this podcast. I'm not going to shade them, but you guys hit with this one.
Of course.
We're developing a culture.
Yeah, of course, bro.
We're creating the things we wish existed.
Yeah, it has to, man. I love that perspective that you said about culture being community.
Yeah.
And I don't want to spoil like what's coming, but I'm going to be doing a talk, right?
Okay, nice.
And I'm going to be speaking about what culture is, right? And because of this show, it has allowed me to get different perspectives from different creatives of what culture is.
Yeah, I like that.
What I've realized is culture is literally what you make it, bro,
For sure.
Because you saying culture is community translates in the work you do.
Absolutely.
Vuyo Matler also said the same thing, culture is community.
Nice.
And it translates into the work that he's doing with Narrowby, which I think it's such a beautiful thing, like the way people have different, perspectives of what culture is. We're no longer in monoculture anymore, we living in the death of monoculture, man. These different facets or mediums to get that culture, bro.
Yeah.
But man, the last question on the show is any advice to any aspiring ByLwanstas?
Yeah. Okay. I'm glad you said that, because not everybody is going to be receptive to some of the work you have to do. Often people want you to tell them how to do it, and or possibly even do it for them.
Yeah.
Some of the advice that I'd say, bro, is like so boring. It's like, hey, bro, show up every Wednesday. Like I'd definitely advise any other ByLwanstas out there, do a music residency. It'll keep you humble, and carry those speakers. carry those speakers. You'll know how to set up sound, bro. I know how to DJ now. I know how to set up sound, bro.
Damn.
Myself, I know how to sound check. I know how to do it just because I was upskilled. By showing up every Wednesday. So allow yourself to be teachable. I don't want to say stay humble because sometimes you got to pop off and show niggas, but, weird flex, but, I know how to set up sound, bro. Your favorite doesn't know how to set up sound. I know how to set. It's a weird flex because why would anyone...
It's a dope flex because like when push comes to shove, you don't know, one day you go to like another situation happens, you go overseas. God forbid something happens to the sound guy. Now you have to hire another one. But you can save some money by doing it yourself.
Exactly, bro. It's like, upskilling. We're here for the long run. Don't rush. Take your time. I'm not the most patient person. Right? And I was even worse when I was younger. That's why I was just doing things. That's why this book exists. This book could have waited 10 years where maybe I'm like, successful. And this is a memoir of everything I did right. This is also a memoir of the things that I did wrong. And, it's happening right now.
Beautiful, man.
So, yeah, man. I want to say don't wait, but don't let your creativity depend on how much you have in your account. Don't, be self-reliant. Be self-reliant. And
I love that.
More importantly, create the things you wish existed.
Damn. I love that, man.
Yes, sir.
Bro, you don't know how much this means to me, like having this conversation with you. Thank you so much for, giving us like the chance to, document your journey.
Thank you, bro.
Be a part of the conversation. You're really doing a lot for the culture. And for me, I want to be intentional about the guests that I bring on my show. I don't want to bring someone that, first and foremost, that I'm not fond of. Because that's going to make the conversation stale. You know what I mean? So I always want to push that thing of culture's biggest to me isn't the people that are in the mainstream. Culture's biggest for me are people that are actually doing real things in the real world, And you're definitely a culture's biggest, man. And I just want to say thank you so much for pulling up to our show and wish you Godspeed on the journey. You're still going to do amazing things. I need to grab myself a copy.
Yes, I got you.
But yeah, man, thank you so much, bro.
If I can just thank you too, bro, like for helping me document my story. Like, nobody, I haven't had a conversation this year like this. So this is all new conversation that I'm having on a platform of this nature. And I want to thank you for, the work that you're doing. There's people whose stories are being told through this. Because I always say, if it's not documented, did it really happen?
Actually, in this digital age,
So, because also this is going to be stuff people are able to look back on. Your platform is going to be an archive, bro, in the future, where
time
people
capsule.
are trying to find, what, then they find this, So I want to, thank you and congratulate you on every other episode you do going forward. This is obviously the best one. But,
of course. What's that line again? My old shit is better than,
Who said it?
Damn, I forgot. But yeah, to paraphrase, it's like you always have to be better than your last work,
Absolutely.
So obviously this is the current one. It's the best one, bro.
And then the next one, whoever comes for it, dog, I'll be back in 6 months. Just give me a year or whatever. Let me do more. And you're like, yo, dog, can we talk about what you just did? But yeah, bro, continue. Please, I hope you never get tired, bro. I hope you keep showing up. I know you've got members in your team, bro. I hope they empower you and keep you accountable, hold each other accountable, because you'll get tired, bro. Elder Third says that you get tired, but you show up because you've got people holding you accountable and you've put something in the world and you're accountable to that thing and for it to grow, to be bigger. And everything you do, bro, I hope it's, always going to come from a good heart. Even when you're tired, bro, you just show up and, you'll be rewarded. So please continue. And
thank you, man.
Thank you.
Let's keep operating, man.
Zersky.
And there you have it, guys. Conversation with the one and only ByLwansta, man. If you like that episode, do subscribe. There's definitely more coming up. And we out. Issue.
Dango.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, sick, brother.
My bro.
No, it's not.